Vola Anguela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitay na barong na Bula FM, nambando na sir.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambando na sir.
Ni Bula binaka, nanreke ngo sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibyo ng Bula FM nambando na sir nusur.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang melambasa. Do barong na Bula FM, nambando.
Bula FM, nambando na sir.
In the news tonight, Nandi murder accused denied bail. Fiji and Australia's Vivale partnership formalized. And ministry records over 700 child cases.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Amrita Sagar.
New Zealand resident Mohammed Rahish Isof, who appeared in the Magistrates Court in Nandi this afternoon, charged with the alleged murder of a Nandi family, has been denied bail. Isof is charged with 5 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. It's alleged that on the 25th and the 26th of last month, Isof allegedly murdered carpenter Nirmal Kumar, his 54-year-old wife Usha Devi, their 34-year-old daughter Nileshni Kajal, and her 2 daughters Sana, aged 11, and Samara, aged 8. The prosecution today objected to bail, stating that Isof is a flight risk as he is a permanent resident of New Zealand and the case is of public interest. There will be a severe penalty incurred if Isof is found guilty and the likelihood of the accused interfering with the witnesses. Isof's lawyer Iqbal Khan, while responding to the prosecution, stated that the only way to remedy these points raised was to have his client under strict bail conditions. Prime Minister Varanger Bainimarama and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison have agreed to put their differences aside and work together for the betterment of both countries. Bainimarama says he might have his disagreements with Morrison, but that should never stop them from forging a common ground. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Arriving at the Australian Parliament in Canberra, Prime Minister Varanger Bainimarama was accorded with the Guard of Honour and a 21-gun salute. Bainimarama and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison took time to talk to school kids waiting in Parliament before they go in for their bilateral meeting. Differences aside, Bainimarama is confident of more cooperation from Morrison.
Members of any family are entitled to their disagreements. No one expects that our differences can be resolved quickly or easily, but we must never falter in forging common ground, and common ground is what I intend to seek in our discussion on the issues that impact the lives of Fijian, Australians and all Pacific people.
For Morrison, maintaining the long-standing relationship between Fiji and Australia is vital, and he stated that nothing will come in between their relationship. He says Australia will continue to do whatever it takes to assist Fiji.
For whatever other complexities there are in the world today, one certain is the relationship that exists between the people of Australia and the people of Fiji. And I think that will always endure. It is just too familiar, it is too close, and it will always be enduring. So,
despite the differences of opinion on their stand on climate change, Prime Minister Varanger Bainimarama and his counterpart Scott Morrison have agreed to work together to assist each other in terms of regional securities and other issues concerning Fiji and Australia. Reporting from the Australian Parliament in Canberra, Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Another milestone achievement for the Fijian government as today they signed a new agreement with the Australian government. The Vivale partnership signed by Prime Minister Varanger Bainimarama and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison aims to see greater cooperation in areas of development and tourism. Ali Kimbia once again.
The signing of the Vivale agreement is a historic achievement for both the Prime Ministers.
part of our Vivale partnership and the work that we began when I was in Suva with you, and that we will bring to completion today after this meeting as we sign the Vivale partnership. It's about more than being good mates to one another. It's about the Vivale connection demands a level of understanding hitherto unprecedented in the relations between our governments, but which has been long evident in the genuine affinity shared by the Fijian and Australian people.
Discussion of the agreement started early when Morrison visited Fiji earlier this year, with both leaders agreeing to map out a partnership to work together on some pressing issues. Permanent Secretary for Prime Minister's Office, Yogesh Karan, says both countries ensured the agreement is inclusive of what the two countries stand for.
There's a lot of work required, months and work. So finally we have reached an agreement and we've signed the agreement. The real work begins from now, because each of those specific areas that's covered there, climate change, environment, trade, tourism, so we need to develop from here.
Karan says now the hard work will start, as both countries will have to live up with what they signed for. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Over 700 child cases have been received by the Ministry of Women and Children's Child Services Unit in just 8 months. The unit is concerned with this figure, as last year 713 cases were recorded. Senia Nimboila reports.
The alarming increase in child cases is becoming a cause for concern for the child services.
Out of the 799, 764 were child welfare cases, while 35 were juvenile cases. So when we say juveniles, again, they are children below the age of 18, some that have committed an offense, or they are sometimes called young offenders as well. So they also come through the system.
Ella Tukutukulevu says the top 3 cases are child neglect, sexual abuse, and instances where children fall victims of domestic violence.
We see that for a number of years now, child neglect has always been at the top of our reported list, case types.
Save the Children Fiji Chief Executive Sharana Ali says they're working closely with relevant agencies to address this issue.
So I think that's definitely worth exploring with the Child Services Unit to better understand what the issues are at the community level and at the family unit level. So I think, that's our next step as Save the Children Fiji. We would like to better understand the causes and be able to address these issues.
In many cases, children who are victims of domestic violence or sexual abuse are put under the care of the ministry until the court decides on the next course of action. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Up ahead, demand for residential land increases. A new FBC program seeks social media truth. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
A consultation on land lease renewals was held for Senganga cane farmers following approvals from the landowners to extend their leases. Organized by the Sugarcane Growers Fund, the consultation was facilitated by the Itoke Land Trust Board.
About 100 cane growers in Senganga turned up at Wunibere on Saturday for the consultation with the Itoke Land Trust Board.
We're doing 5 yearly renewal. So the lease that will be expired from 2020-2025, our expiry team or our staff already visited the farm, consulting the landowners and tried to persuade the landowners for the lease to be renewed.
The renewal of leases is one of the top 3 complaints that come to the TLTB all year round. The consultation saw many grievances being addressed.
This is one of those days that we have managed to get the parties together. It is a very positive sign going forward for the sugar industry.
I must appreciate that the landowners of Senganga area have agreed to renew the leases for the farmers to extend of 30 years, 50 years or 90 years.
Timadwata Ratu William Ekatunivere took the opportunity to urge farmers to increase their production.
So that's the honest. You want to have secure your future with your children? Plant cane. That's the bottom line.
The Senganga cane farming community is made up of just a little over 660 cane farmers in 3 sectors, and they produce a total of around 160,000 tons of cane a year. Eleanor Torangaibio, FBC News.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation has discredited claims by dairy farmers who say that every time the milk production improves, the price of molasses goes high. The farmers made this claim following the announcement that average milk production per cow is at 6.5 litres this year, compared to 5 litres in 2018. Apenisa Wangairandovu reports.
The dairy farmers want any information on recovery in the industry to be kept quiet.
We have been talking in the industry that when you get a price increase, we should try and keep the information quiet. A few weeks after the milk price increase, there was a huge increase in one of the farm inputs, and which was molasses. It went from $80 to $102 a drum.
Molasses is the main feed for cows, and the Fiji Sugar Corporation is the only organization supplying this. The FSC has clarified that its pricing for molasses is determined by regional and world market prices. In an email response, the FSC says the dairy industry and milk production are not determinants of molasses pricing. It stressed that the price of molasses to the dairy industry is discounted to the price charged to other local users. The biggest challenge for the dairy industry is to curb the spread of bovine tuberculosis. Many farmers have lost their cattle to the deadly disease which has affected milk production. Apenisa Wangrandobu, FBC News.
More home buyers are now willing to move away from urban areas in order to own homes. The Housing Authority confirms that demand is so high that many Fijians don't mind living away from modern amenities. Edwin Nund reports.
Fijians are settling in undeveloped locations because homes or land is either unavailable or way too expensive.
We put it out in the papers and online, so we get the numbers in. Yes, I'd love a block in Navua. So that drives our decision to actually go in that area. But because of the lack of affordable housing in this country and land, you'd be surprised.
For the government, it's about relevant ministries being able to provide the necessary services to make it worthwhile to live away from modern amenities.
And we're going to gravitate towards centres like Suva, we're going to gravitate towards centres like Nandi, where there's a commercial hub. So our role is to make sure that working collectively to ensure that we have the policy in place, we can still deliver the affordable housing to still drive the engine room of the economy.
Nakasi in Nosori is a prime example. Population growth has seen new life injected into what was an idle area for decades. It's now a thriving commercial and residential hub. Housing Authority's new Chief Executive Robert Sen believes the same will happen in other parts of Fiji.
Businesses are being built in the supermarkets and all those things. All the facilities are around there. So I'm sure, people who like to buy the house a bit away from urban centres, very soon that place will become an urban centre too.
The Housing Authority's research team continues its search for new land to build affordable houses. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
It's a Rugby World Cup week, and while the focus is being directed at the action on the field beginning Friday, fans have also been getting into the hype. Primary to the needs of a rugby fan is getting apparel and gearing up for game day. Two of the retailers selling World Cup jerseys have started to experience an increase in the demand for team jumpers.
Fijian rugby fans are some of the most passionate around the globe, and getting one of these is something that is driving them to merchandise sellers.
And we're getting closer to World Cup, and the hype is getting higher, and I mean, you can actually
seen that there's a lot
that
of
people are motivated to
sale of
actually
Fiji jersey, which we
Rugby
have
World Cup
currently
jerseys, or
got a
even
license
own
from
one.
Fiji Rugby Union.
It's the big thing
And
for
there's
any
customers who are coming and buying our Fijian supporters jersey. It's more like a t-shirt for supporters, it's not an actual jersey. We have seen that there's a lot of sale of Fiji jersey, which we have currently has got a license from Fiji Rugby Union, and there's a customers who are coming and buying our Fijian supporters jersey. It's more like a t-shirt for supporters, it's not an actual jersey.
And while the Fiji gear is always a hit, the New Zealand All Blacks, which has a big fan base in the country, is also expected to boost the coffers of these businesses.
It's a legendary jersey. What they have done, there's a silver fan in front, and there's a Koru design, which is young silver fan. So that young silver fan represent, Koru represent that young talents, like all the Cebu Reeves and Bridge are playing currently in the team. And the legend means the legend players who are playing currently in the team.
The demand for World Cup apparel is surely going to hit overdrive this week, whichever team you support at the end of the day. It is about getting into the rugby fever and supporting your favorite team. Korey Tandulala, FBC News.
The growing fake news epidemic has led to the production of the first ever television show to expose fake news in the region. Hoaxbusters will be aired on FBC TV from tonight and will shed light on misleading information currently viral on social media platforms while highlighting opinions, social media responsibility and how to spot fake news. Kritika Kumar reports.
Fiji Broadcasting Corporation's Chief Executive Ria Said Kayum says they are proud to have a show which is one of its kind and the very first for Fiji.
We've heard of a couple of shows like this in possibly Europe, but they're doing it differently. Well, our take on it is a bit different because it's not our take is not only about education and information, but there's a little bit of entertainment in there as well.
Said Kayum says this program will enable Fijians to differentiate between fake and real news and also hopefully it will help educate.
When we read something, we don't know whether it's true or not, and we're trying to educate the young people to think for themselves, to find out for themselves where anything that's written is true or not.
Show producer Cholame Dangi says they'll also give a chance to Fijians to be part of the show.
We actually go out and interview people and ask them how much they know about fake news and the fake news epidemic that we have here in Fiji at the moment. And we also share our SMR focus, which is sharing social media responsibility tips.
Hoaxbusters premieres at 7:45 p.m. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
And it's now time for business with Koroi.
Thank you, Amrita. Coming up, EFL to be listed on South Pacific Stock Exchange. And in growing Fiji, Post Fiji expands services. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सब मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot. Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's #1.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है. हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग कल मिर्ची FM सुनता. Gold Town तावा में मिर्ची FM दागो मामा.
Mirchi FM. It's hot.
Leading business, the South Pacific Stock Exchange is hoping that more companies will be listed with them by June next year. Chair Nurbano Ali says 3 companies have shown interest in being listed. Catherine Krishna reports Energy Fiji Limited is one such company.
Once listed on the stock exchange, Energy Fiji Limited shareholders will be able to participate actively in the stock market.
On a year-to-date average now stands at 3.5 billion. We are also anticipating further 3 listings to be accomplished by mid-next year and look forward to that. We are also further anticipating with excitement the listing of Energy Fiji Limited on the stock exchange in the near future, which will further enhance our market capitalization.
The SPX chair says EFL will also be the first state-owned enterprise to be corporatized and listed.
Around 36,700 EFL account holders have accepted the free offer of shares by government. And once listed, it will allow these account holders to directly participate in Fiji's stock market.
Economy Minister Yaset Kayum says the government wants many Fijians to benefit.
EFL is probably one of the largest divestments that the Fijian government has ever undertaken by any Fijian government. And it's quite a significant milestone. And as has been highlighted, we're looking at listing this company very soon on the South Pacific Stock Exchange.
The Economy Minister also revealed that by next year, Fijian Holdings will be listing merchant finance with SPX. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Suniva from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the trading world.
Let's have a quick look at last week's trading on our local stock market. The stock exchange saw a total of 12,751 shares, traded in 13 transactions valued at $24,794 over the week. There were only 2 stocks that recorded market activity. FMF Foods Limited shares decreased by 9 cents and ended the week at $2.10, while RB Patel Group Limited shares showed an upward movement of 42 cents and concluded the week at $8.50. Subsequent to the various share price changes, the overall market capitalization slightly decreased by 0.03% and concluded the week at a value of $3.48 billion. That's a wrap from our local stock market, Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. The Fiji dollar slipped a bit in the turmoil the forex markets, which now have the Saudi Arabian refinery attack to consider, along with Brexit and the China-US trade war. The Fiji dollar showed minor declines against all of the currencies we cover, with the exception of New Zealand, where the Sangamoli rose against the Kiwi. On the commodities market, oil prices jumped almost 10% to over $60 per barrel following the attack on Saudi Arabian refineries. Gold rose strongly to $1,506 per ounce, and silver closed down at $17.86 per ounce. In growing Fiji, Post Fiji is taking a lead role in diversifying its services compared to other postal services around the world. Head of Retail and Marketing Isaac Moe says Post Fiji is also selling groceries in some of its rural outlets. Moe says this move is to stay relevant in competitive times, as Post Fiji is one of the few postal agencies in the world that actually makes profits.
For us here in Fiji, the Post has diversified into other areas. We have diversified into the retail business, the post shop where we sell stationery in all the post offices around Fiji, and also groceries in some of the rural post offices.
That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Kuroya, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Clarity, key word for flying Fijians this week.
Natango merea, maramani waya manetua sawa, weti kitu kutunde Nandi, ya undo marata kana baronga na Radio Fiji-1.
Yao asna datili, yao maga Monica. Tondo baronga vale bunar domo ibiti lambasa.
Bula natango aprosa nangarse, ngor kraki. Do televisione na barong na Radio Fiji-1 na domo ibiti.
Natango go chani bukia, ngoni na mosi. Ando talita kana barong na Radio Fiji-1 na domo ibiti su.
Radio Fiji-1 na domo.
The Flying Fijians have hit the ground running at their base camp in Abashiri, Japan, ahead of their Rugby World Cup Open against Australia. Meanwhile, twice World Cup champions, the Wallabies, are wary of their first hurdle and will not be overworking themselves in the next few days. Aquila Dama with the story.
Clarity will be the order of the week for the Flying Fijians, and head coach John McKee says the next 3 days will be crucial.
Monday will be a normal test match week with just working through our clarity and making sure that the players really know our game plan inside out before getting into our more intensive training Tuesday.
McKee says the excitement is building ahead of the first match against the Wallabies.
So it's we're really excited here. We're getting near game one, and you know all the hard work that we've put in since July 1. We hope that it really pays off this week with our performance.
Fiji playing the Sapporo Dome this Saturday, one of 12 stadiums that will host Rugby World Cup matches in Japan. Defending Rugby World Cup champion New Zealand have been officially welcomed in Japan. France have also been welcomed to Japan, and as usual, local rugby fans were out in numbers to make them feel at home. Flanker Jamie Ritchie will miss Scotland's Rugby World Cup 2019 opening match against Ireland on Sunday after sustaining a broken cheekbone in their final warm-up test against Georgia. The Wales rugby team has been covering rugby balls in baby oil during training. The Fiji Airways Ndrua have dropped to 7th place on the Australian National Rugby Championship standings. They now have 4 points after 2 draws and a loss in the competition. Coach Sinirusi Serabakula says a win in their next match against Sydney this week will be crucial for the title defense. The team arrived back in the country today.
If we need to defeat the title, and we can afford to lose again, like I said before. But every game is going to be tougher, like I said from the beginning. But we just need to be disciplined in how we want to play and playing 80 minutes.
The Indro will host the Sydney Rays at 5 p.m. at Lautoka's Churchill Park this Saturday. Micah Sibo has now scored 22 tries for the Eels in the NRL this season. Sibo added another 2 in the Eels' 58-0 demolition of the Broncos in Week 1 finals last night. From sports, you can join Angie later on with weather and the new media. Google Pixel 4 XL apparently revealed in YouTube video. Details coming up.
रहता है हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोचक सुनता, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोंगो लेबू लटोका, रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
And here's Angie, the weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. How was your wet weekend? Probably not so exciting as rain was mostly involved. Anyways, it's been too wet for field work this week. The farmers harvest their veggies, rain or shine, but can't take tractors in the fields when the ground is too muddy. Now to the west, while Suva is all rainy and cold, the west is hot and humid. What a difference. Eastwards from Back Harbour to Suva, pretty gloomy with rain expected. And up north, let's say there is a 50-50 chance of showers. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 8:08 p.m. with low tide at 2:16 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6 a.m. For tomorrow, so a good thing is that the weather looks clearer. Let's go right to Sapporo in Japan, where our flying Fijians are training. The weather is pretty hot, too hot for out and about. Tomorrow's temps, cool temperatures throughout. And looking further on to Wednesday, more brighter spells in line. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. I'm Rita.
Thank you, Angie. In Fijian Pulse segment tonight, we asked, are you going to buy a Rugby World Cup apparel to support your team?
Yeah, I'm planning to buy one flag and put it outside my house. So go Fiji, go! All the best.
Oh yes, I was thinking of buying one T-shirt, a Fiji T-shirt. I bought one already, and a flag, so that we can enjoy, feel part of the Fiji team.
I'm buying a Fiji flag and go Fiji, go! We are with you all the way.
I have already purchased a Fiji flag and a T-shirt, so I'm just waiting to cheer on them this weekend.
I have the idea. I won't say anything at the moment. I got no say.
Recapping the main stories, Nandi murder accused denied bail. Fiji and Australia's Vuvale partnership formalized. And Ministry records over 700 child cases. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question segment. Last week, we asked, should there be harsher penalties imposed on bogus real estate agents? 70% said yes. And this week, we're asking, should Tier 2 rugby nations be given more top-level international matches every year? You can visit our FBC website to answer. Well, before we go, our shot of the day, the orange gold stretches far and wide as the sunset's taken in Lautoka by Chaya Reddy. Well, you can always send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. Until next time, good night.
Mulai Today FM. Today FM rocks. Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Form. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm a curator from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on